Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one of the most loved segments that we do here on the Andy Show TV YouTube channel. That is Honest Movie Reviews. Now, I say loved because so few of you watch it, but so many of you love it.
Yes.
So thank you for your support on this segment. We will continue to do it. I said cement, by the way, not segment. We will continue to do it because we enjoy it, and at the end of the day, we love film and we love talking about film. So what we're going to talk about this week is a new movie. It's kind of a twist on an old thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Baywatch.
Kind of a reboot.
Kind of a reboot.
And I thought it was really interesting because everyone knows that Baywatch was based on the novella Baywatch by Flannery O'Connor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which we've all read.
Oh, countless times.
I remember in school where they handed us the novella.
Yeah, Baywatch.
It was Baywatch. They handed us the Scarlet Letter. They handed us some Robert Frost. They said, this is what you need to read in order to learn. And when we did that, I felt like I learned a lot. And so now watching this movie, which, by the way, stars The Undertaker.
Yes.
Seeing The Undertaker in this movie rekindled my love of literature. It rekindled my love of learning about things. I felt like I was so much more intelligent just watching this movie.
Exactly.
Now, we got to talk about the beach, because the beach plays a big role.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So about halfway through the movie, and spoilers, I will say spoilers, because these will spoil, the beach becomes its own, like, kind of amorphic entity that attacks the greater Miami area.
Yes.
And so...
And the lesser Miami.
And the lesser Miami area.
Yeah.
And Don Johnson is there, and he keeps going, book 'em, over and over again.
How do you book a beach?
Yeah, how do you book a beach? And that's what The Undertaker comes up and says to Don Johnson.
That was the tagline for the movie.
Yeah, how do you book a beach?
Yeah.
And so, but he says, book 'em. And then the whole beach comes, and it just fucking eats Don Johnson right there on camera.
Yep.
And I know a lot of you, the younger viewers, you're big fans of Don Johnson. Don Johnson is well known with the younger audience.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, he was a former professional basketball player.
Yes.
Former Miss Universe and former Mr. Universe.
Yes.
And someone...
The first one to ever win both Mr. and Mrs.
And someone who was a massive star in the 80s for his xylophone and Hambo knee slap that he did. He used to do Hambo knee slap all the time.
Spoon Man about him too.
He was the Spoon Man.
He was Spoon Man.
Yeah. Look, I enjoyed this movie. I'm going to talk about my dislikes.
Sure.
My biggest dislike, I didn't understand why everyone wore just a shirt and no pants.
Yeah.
I remember from the novella that it seemed like a lot of it was shorts with no shirt or bikinis. In this movie, you've got everyone wearing long sleeve shirts.
Yep.
Everyone's junk is hanging out. I'm not trying to be a prude, but you can only take so many dicks and vaginas hanging out on the screen during the movie that have a sweater just sitting just above it.
It's not even safe to be at the beach without your pants on.
No,
come on, Baywatch.
How many sunburned penises are there?
And that is a really good question. How many sunburned penises do you need the movie? Joe, what is your dislikes about this movie?
Well, and it's similar to what you just said, but, you know, in Flannery O'Connor's novella, I thought she teed it up nicely to be turned into a movie because she talked about how all of the lifeguards ran in slow motion.
Yes.
You know, so it seemed like that's all they could have done.
Yeah.
They didn't need to have everybody not wearing pants, and that would have been sexual enough. My other big problem is that, you know, up until the beach becomes its own entity, you know, the plot was kind of lacking because it was just the Undertaker looking at how much algae was in the water.
And he kept going, that's an algae, that's an algae, that's an algae. And then Paul Bear came and said, oh, that's an algae, that's an algae, that's an algae. And then Winnie the Pooh came and did a very similar voice, that's an algae, that's an algae. And it just went on and on and on and on for hours. I liked that The Undertaker was wearing a red swimsuit for most of this movie.
Right.
I thought that he looked really great in it.
Yeah.
I thought that it painted a good picture of what he was as a beach watcher.
Right.
And I mean, for me, it was like that was a great part. Look, this is the kind of movie that you take your family to.
Oh yeah.
It's the kind of movie that you take your friends to. It's the kind of movie that you go alone to. It's one of those kind of movies.
You can take your enemies to it.
You can take your enemies to it. You can take your frenemies to it. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
I think it was a great idea to have The Undertaker. You know, he's not a man who says much other than there's algae, there's algae.
There's algae.
Yeah.
There's an algae.
There's an algae. I'm sorry, yeah. So to have the talking walrus, Theodore, be his sort of partner.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought it was a nice addition.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
a new edition. Countless times.
I remember this has potential to spin off into a TV show too. That'd be interesting.
I hope so. I've never
Baywatch TV show. I don't know.
So. Look, I love this movie. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of the ratings thing. I'm going to give it 12 Garnets.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved it. I think everybody should see it. Pat, what do you think?
3 jet skis.
3 jet skis. Joe?
I'm going to give it 16 beach balls.
Excellent. Well, that's Baywatch. Go see it and think for yourself about what you think about it. Goodbye.